First-round picks are always the most appealing in football.
But Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Rodger Staubach, Rob Gronkowski, and Terrell Davis are among the many all-time NFL greats who would love to remind you that you don't have to be a first-round pick to enjoy a historic career.
There have been so many great second-round picks in the NFL over these last 2 decades, to the point where you could field quite the dream team of active players who were taken in round 2. Unfortunately, we couldn't include punters or kickers because, well, teams don't draft those guys as early as the second round. As a result, we'll only be doing 11 players on offense, 11 on defense, plus kick and punt returners. So, let's get right into it. Offense. Quarterback, Drew Brees. The San Diego Chargers selected Brees 32nd overall in the 2001 draft. So Brees was actually the first pick in round 2 instead of the final pick in round 1. Anywho, Brees was an easy choice for us here. The all-time leader in passing yards and touchdowns, 13 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl 44 champion, and MVP, only Tom Brady was a better quarterback over the past decade. And because Brady was a 6th round pick, Brees claims this spot by default. Wide receiver, Michael Thomas. Brees' most trusted target also happens to be a 2nd round pick. The Ohio State product was taken 47th overall in the 2016 draft, and he's quickly emerged as one of the NFL's most dynamic offensive playmakers. He's hit 90 plus receptions and over 1,000 yards in each of his first 4 seasons, helping the Saints win 3 straight NFC South Division titles. In 2019, he set the single season record for receptions with 149. Thomas is going to be great for many years to come. The only question now is if he and Brees will get the chance to hoist the Lombardi Trophy together. Wide receiver, Davante Adams. Adams has emerged as Aaron Rodgers' most reliable offensive weapon over the past 5 or so years. It's too bad Rodgers hasn't been at 100% in recent years because Adams has all the makings to be a top 5 wideout in the game. Nonetheless, Adams is the main reason why Rodgers has been able to maintain his Pro Bowl level of play, despite the Packers' efforts to continuously deprive him of any quality number 2 receiving options. Adams has hit 70 plus receptions and over 800 receiving yards in each of the last 4 years. Steady and consistent production. What more do you want? Wide receiver, Jarvis Landry. Tough call here between Landry, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Cortland Sutton. But how do you pick against a 5-time Pro Bowler who's never had a top-tier quarterback to feed him the ball? Landry has been the model of consistency since being drafted 63rd overall by the Miami Dolphins in 2014. He's hit 80 receptions every year while crossing the 900-yard mark 5 times. The shifty and lightning-quick Landry also does plenty of damage in the special teams return game. Let's just hope the Cleveland Browns don't waste his prime years. They've done this with more than enough guys already. Running back, Derrick Henry. Le'Veon Bell and Nick Chubb are in consideration here, but how do you go against the 2019 rushing champion? The Alabama product fell to the Tennessee Titans at number 45 overall in 2016. After playing behind DeMarco Murray for a year, Henry earned the starting duties in 2017 and never looked back. Henry followed up a superb 2018 season by rushing for an NFL-leading 1,540 yards and a whopping 16 touchdowns in 2019. He ran all over the New England Patriots and top-seeded Baltimore Ravens while carrying Tennessee to the AFC Championship game, where they eventually fell to the Kansas City Chiefs. Bell and Chubb simply have to show they can carry a team on their backs like Henry did if they want to knock him off this spot. But if we had to take one second-round running back to help us win right now, it's Henry. Tight end, Zach Ertz. With respect to Rob Gronkowski, this list is based on the best player now. The future Hall of Famer decided to return after a 1-year retirement, but don't forget how much he noticeably declined into the 2018 season. He's no longer the true unstoppable force that terrorized teams from 2010 to 2017. You know who still terrorizes teams though? Philadelphia Eagles tight end Zach Ertz. The number 35 selection for the 2013 draft seems to get better every year. The 3-time Pro Bowler is good for over 70 catches and 800 plus yards a season. And as a bonus, Ertz has been extremely durable for the most part. You obviously can't say the same about Gronk. Oh, and didn't Ertz catch the game-winning touchdown pass in Super Bowl 52? Yep, this is totally a guy you want on your team with the game on the line. Center, Rodney Hudson. The Kansas City Chiefs drafted Hudson 55th overall, but he really began taking his game to another level once he joined the Oakland Raiders in 2015, earning Pro Bowl selections in 2016, 2017, and 2019. He earned a second-team All-Pro selection in the latter year, too. The Raiders seem to be a graveyard for so many veteran players nearing the end of their primes, but they actually found a total gem in Hudson after he just never got it going in KC. Little side note, Hudson was one of the easiest choices on this list. Offensive tackle, Rodger Saffold.
He hasn't earned any Pro Bowl selections and is always overlooked, but Saffold has enjoyed a stellar career since being drafted 33rd overall by the Rams in 2010. Named a second-team All-Pro in 2017, Saffold played a monumental role in the Rams' trip to Super Bowl 53. That inked him a $44 million contract from the Tennessee Titans in 2019, and Saffold helped the aforementioned Derrick Henry earn the rushing title en route to an AFC title game appearance. Saffold has played both guard and tackle through his career, but really there's only one second-round offensive tackle in the league who's even better than him, so Saffold easily earned a spot on this list. Offensive tackle, Mitchell Schwartz. The Browns drafted Schwartz 37th overall in 2012, but he really took off after he signed with the Chiefs in 2016. Andy Reid managed to maximize Schwartz's skill set, something the Browns don't tend to do with a lot of guys. On top of helping Kansas City win Super Bowl 54 against the San Francisco 49ers, Schwartz has earned 3 second-team All-Pro and 1 first-team All-Pro selection. He is, simply put, the glue that keeps Kansas City O-line together. Guard, Joel Bitonio. Bitonio has been a mainstay on the Browns' offensive line throughout his first 6 NFL seasons. Of course, Joe Thomas took most of the spotlight from him early on. The former is a future Hall of Famer after all. But without Bitonio, Nick Chubb wouldn't have been a threat for the rushing title. He earned Pro Bowl and second-team All-Pro selections in 2018 and 2019, and the Browns will continue to rely on him to carry the otherwise extremely lackluster O-line over the long run. Guard, Cody Whitehair. In terms of second-round guards, it's slim pickings after Bitonio, so we decided to go with the only other active second-round offensive guard who's made a Pro Bowl appearance, and that would be 2016 draftee Cody Whitehair. Since being selected by the Bears with the 56th overall pick, Whitehair has started every game on their offensive line. Over the course of those 4 years and 64 games, he's given up 7 sacks while being called for only 22 penalties. He was named to the Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team in 2016, and 2 years later in 2018. He was named to his first Pro Bowl after guiding the Bears to an NFC North title. And that's good enough for him to find a spot on our all-second-round team. Defense. Defensive end, Calais Campbell. Hindsight is 2020, but it's hard to see how this guy wasn't a top 10 pick in his class. Campbell fell to the Arizona Cardinals at number 50 overall in the 2008 draft, and the rest is history. The 6'8", 300-pound Campbell has been an absolute beast on the defensive line throughout his likely Hall of Fame career. Named to the 2010s All-Decade team, the 5-time Pro Bowler helped Arizona reach Super Bowl 43 in his rookie year, as well as the 2015 NFC Championship game. Campbell joined the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2017 and guided them to an AFC Championship game. This ageless superstar was traded to the Baltimore Ravens in the 2020 offseason. Now, if he could just capture a championship ring once and for all. Defensive end, Frank Clark. Clark has quietly been one of the league's top pass rushers since entering the NFL in 2015. The football world really got to notice Clark in his first season with the Kansas City Chiefs, where Clark played a huge role in turning the unit from downright horrendous to championship caliber. Clark recorded 8 or more in 4 of his first 5 seasons. He had 5 sacks and 3 playoff games for the Chiefs en route to a Super Bowl 54 championship. Defensive tackle, Chris Jones. Man, how many current or former Chiefs have been named to our all-second round pick team? Well, here's another. Taken 37th overall by the savvy KC front office, Jones broke out big time in 2018 with 15.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, helping the Chiefs reach the AFC title game before bowing out to New England. Jones and the Chiefs took care of business a year later as they guided KC to their first Super Bowl in a half-century. In 2019, Jones recorded 9 sacks, a forced fumble, and 4 passes defended. He's only entering his prime now. Defensive tackle, Kawann Short. Despite a superb tenure at Purdue that saw him earn 2 first-team All-Big Ten selections, Short didn't entice the scouts enough to be a first-round pick in 2013. Finally, the Carolina Panthers took him in the 44th spot. Short broke out in Carolina's 2015 NFC Championship season with 11 sacks, earning Pro Bowl and second-team All-Pro selections. He's been more than steady on Carolina's front 7, and with Luke Kuechly now retired, the Panthers will rely on Short to lead this unit more than ever. Linebacker, Bobby Wagner. Man, John Schneider and Pete Carroll have sure found themselves a nice quantity of future Hall of Famers after round 1. Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, and, oh yeah, Bobby Wagner. Wagner was taken 47th overall by the Seahawks in 2012. 1 Super Bowl, 2 NFC championships, and 5 first-team All-Pro selections later, it's looking like Seattle has themselves a future Hall of Famer. Easy choice here. Next, linebacker Lavonte David. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been completely irrelevant during David's career, so he's always lost in the discussion of the league's best defensive players. Shame. David is one of the most complete and decorated linebackers to come around in the 21st century. The ultimate tackle machine is a must-have in fantasy leagues, if you use defensive players. Now that the Bucs have Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, they should have a fun and relevant team again. And maybe the bigger national exposure will help David earn more respect around the football world. Linebacker, Darius Leonard. Be real, Indianapolis Colts fans. Did you really think your team drafted a future franchise cornerstone when they took Leonard 36th overall in 2018? The 2018 Defensive Rookie of the Year was an absolute beast in his first NFL season. 163 combined tackles, 8 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, and 7 sacks. That was enough to help Indy make a surprise trip to the postseason. With Andrew Luck now gone, Leonard figures to be the long-term face of the Colts franchise. He'll be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate for years to come. Cornerback, Casey Hayward. After a solid 4-year stint in Green Bay, Hayward emerged as a star once he joined the Chargers in 2016. Hayward has quietly grown into one of the game's top shutdown corners. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler and 2-time second-team All-Pro. The only problem with the ball-hawking corner is that he shares the secondary with Derwin James, Desmond King, and now Chris Harris Jr. So Hayward tends to be overlooked at times. Oh well, that doesn't matter. As long as he keeps shutting down his man, we'll continue to give him the recognition he truly deserves. Cornerback, Darius Slay. Like Hayward, Slay's been stuck on a mediocre team for most of his career now. But the former Detroit Lion and new Philadelphia Eagle is a 3-time Pro Bowler and 1-time first-team All-Pro. Slay is the ultimate definition of a ball-hawking corner, having recorded 13 interceptions and 56 passes defended over the past 3 years. Now that he's on a playoff contending team in Philly, Slay can expect to enter the conversation for the best corner in the game. Safety, Von Bell. The Ohio State product was taken with the 61st pick by the Saints in 2016. He never developed as a star in New Orleans, but Bell was a quality starter who helped his perennially awful defense reach an above-average level during their NFC South Division winning years in 2017, 2018, and 2019. Bell signed a 3-year deal worth $18 million with the Cincinnati Bengals in the 2020 offseason. We'll see how that goes. Safety, Landon Collins. The New York Giants haven't done much since their Super Bowl 46 championship season, but drafting Landon Collins 33rd overall turned out to be a pretty good move. Collins became one of the few defensive standouts on New York, earning Pro Bowl selections in each of his first 3 years. After leading the G-Men to the postseason in 2016, Collins received a first-team All-Pro selection. He was quite the ball hawker in New York, posting 8 interceptions and 32 passes defended in his 4 seasons there. We'll see if Collins can find that All-Pro form again with Ron Rivera and the Washington Redskins. Special teams. Again, with no active kickers or punters being selected in the second round, we couldn't feature any of them here. We do, however, have a punt returner and kick returner to add to this list, so here you go. Punt returner, Cyrus Jones. Since joining the Baltimore Ravens in 2018, Jones has emerged as a nice contributor in the team's always stout special teams. Jones has 259 punt return yards and a touchdown in just 11 games for Baltimore that year.
Jones had 113 punt return yards in 8 games for the Ravens in 2019. As far as second-round picks and punt returners go, you really can't ask for much better than him.
Kick returner, McCole Hardman. There aren't many dynamic kick returners out there these days. Hardman is one of the few. The Chiefs speedster did a good amount of damage in the return game during his rookie year. He finished 3rd in kick return yards in 2019 with 704 to go along with a touchdown. That was on top of being Patrick Mahomes' secret weapon in the passing game. This kid is going to do some good things for a long time in Kansas City. What changes would you make to our all second round pick team? Join us in the comments section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. We appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.